Hello. Hi. Okay, I believe that I did a pretty damn good video, the last video I made. It took a whole hour long. I broke down all dozens of contradictions in Genesis 1 and 2. And now there's a big major contradiction and inconsistencies and absurdities video now. So I use two different books because this has the additional Apocrypha and Deuteronomical books. There's 14 more books in Catholic edition, or like a Roman Orthodox kind of fucking thing. The King James has 66 books. There used to be 14 more, but they're all removed. So I'll cover something in wisdom and something in Sirach. So before I start off with anything, I go with Psalm. Oh, wait a minute. I do not endorse this book or advocate the use of the words of this book or the other book. I do not endorse this book or advocate the use of words of this book. I'm an atheist. I use this book as a weapon against itself. It's all evil. It's all lies. And so is this one. I'm capital N-O-T. I'm not a pastor. I'm an activist against this evil, despicable book. No. I was talking to my sister about I'm bragging about how I think my last video was very good. I broke down Genesis 1 and 2 into dozens of contradictions, or a dozen contradictions, maybe 1 dozen, because even though there's dozens more, it's only humanly possible that I could do so much. I shouted for an hour straight. I think I did pretty good. And my sister says, oh, you're talking about the 7-day creation? I said, no. It was actually 6 days. It's the 7th day. He laid around on his ass and did nothing, as if he knew what a day was. What is a day? How does he know? Did he have a dictionary back then? How did he know it's a 24-hour thing? He slept for 24 hours? What did he do? Huh? In order to get into this video material, I'm going to have to go to Genesis 1:1 and Genesis 1:2. In the beginning, God. That's the 4th word. He's so egotistical. He's such a pompous ass that he labels himself a word. God, the 4th word of the entire book, Genesis 1:1. The 4th word, he says, God, as if we're supposed to fucking know what that means. G-O-D, all of a sudden, out of the blue, bang, God appears. I have a Christian brother who says he wants me to prove the Big Bang. So what about the magic dirt rib story that you came up with? I believe magic dirt rib story. But tell me to prove the Big Bang. I believe in talking snakes and talking donkeys, but prove the Big Bang for me. I say this. I want a Christian to go in the live chat right now and prove Genesis 1:1 to me now. How can you prove Genesis 1:1? In the beginning, God. The fourth word, God. How the fuck are we supposed to know what God is? And if only man wrote the Bible, then how come Genesis 1:1 through 1:26, there was no man. There was no man till 26. Who wrote Genesis 1:1? Who wrote Genesis 1:1 to 1:25? Who did it? Man was not created till 26. So who wrote chapter 1, the majority of it? In the beginning, God. Prove that. Prove that to me now. Prove it. In the beginning, God. Genesis 1:1. Prove it. As a disclaimer, I smoke tobacco cigarettes. I'm going to cuss, say asshole, bitch, motherfucker, fuck you. And I'm going to make fun of your religion. I mark this not made for kids, but there's adult kids out there who are 18 plus or 21 plus, 31 plus, 51 plus, 71 plus. And you're all upset because I'm going to make fun of your religion because you're still little kids who believe in fairy tales, like you're going to float up on top of the clouds after you die and kiss and hug your loved ones up on top of the clouds. Yeah, right. Okay. Let's go into Genesis 1:1. In the beginning, God created heaven and the earth. Prove that. And the earth was without form and void, and the darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. Verse 3. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And God saw the light, and it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness, and God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. How do I supposed to fucking know what day and night is? And was your God an Englishman? How come he spoke English right here? I say day and night as if you think he's a white fucking English God floating on top of the clouds. I was looking in the dictionary about day and night, and I say it's day and night. And in the evening and the morning, it was the first day. The first day he created light and darkness. Yeah. God said, "Let there be firmament in the midst of the waters." This must be the second day. He's already created waters. Let it divide the waters from the waters. From what other waters? It's all water. I want to divide the waters from the waters. It sounds like it's all water. What? And God made firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. There's waters below and there's waters above. Firmament. What kind of firmament fucking shit is that? And God called the firmament heaven. A firmament called heaven. He's talking about clouds, ain't he? The stratosphere. And it was the evening, it was the morning, it was the second day. He created a bunch of water and created clouds. Now, verse 9. What about verse 9? He was talking all about waters. He wasted a couple verses on that, didn't he? And he wasted a couple verses on firmament. What firmament is. There's water and firmament. And he claimed that he already created light and darkness, and there's water and firmament. And then he says also that The earth was without form, void, and darkness was on the face of the deep. It's all darkness, but he said he made light. But no, it's all dark waters. At firmament, there's water above, there's water beneath. It's all dark, null, and void. But I created light. Verse 9, and God said, let the waters under the heaven be gathered together into one place, and let the dry land appear, and it was so. All of a sudden, verse 9, all of a sudden he made land. I thought he made the earth and everything in it already, but it took some till 9 verses before I even think about dry land. And God called the dry land earth. And gathering together the waters called he the seas. There's earth and then there's the seas. Aren't seas part of the earth? He sets them aside in a different category. This earth he calls land, like dirt. But seas are different. Seas are different, aren't they? He has a different category for seas. He's already talked about a lot of water, and deep, darkness. But then he said he made light in the first day. This is the third day, and God called the dry land earth, and gathering together the waters he called seas. And God said, it is all good. And God said, let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit, after his kind, whose seed was in itself upon the earth. And it was so. He made all these plants, vegetables, the seed-bearing seed. Yeah. And the earth brought forth grass and herb, yielding seed. After its kind, the tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself after its kind. And God saw that it was all good. Because the evening and this morning, that's the end of the third day. All this happy plant life, yeah, sprouting up, and I'm yielding seed and shit. I claimed that I made light and darkness, and I made light. I made light in 1, 3 to 5. But I didn't create a sun till the fourth day. There's 3 days of lollygagging around about talking about water and vegetation and shit like that. All I'm going to talk about from the first 8 verses is how I made the earth, and all I talk about is darkness and water, null and void. But I did create light and darkness, but then I got to talk about waters and firmament. Shit like that. The fourth day, and God said, let there be lights and the firmament of the heavens to divide the day from the night, and let them be signs and for seasons and for days and for years. How the fuck is he supposed to know what a day is? Or a month? Or a year? Did he know 24/7, 365? I don't think so. What, did he have a fucking dictionary up there? The fourth day he made the sun. How did everything live the first 3 days? Answer that. Nothing would live the first 3 days. First 3 days, tear that out of your Bible. It doesn't mean anything because it's not so. Nothing will live without the sun, which was created on the fourth day. All right. The fourth day, 1:14 through 19. God said, let there be light in the firmament of the heavens to divide the day from the night, and let them be signs for the seasons and for the days and the years. And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heavens to give light upon the earth. And it was so. It was so. It means a split second. I created it. Bam, magic, split second now. And it was so. It was so. It means he created it instantaneously. It's fucking lights in the firmament of the heavens. There's lights in the clouds. And it's because of me. And I did it in one verse, and it's bam, done. Presto, changeo, magic now. Right? And God made two great lights. The greater light to rule the day, it's the sun. And a lesser light to govern the night. And the fucking idiot doesn't know that the moon does not shine nothing. The moon is not a light. It's a reflector of the sun. He is so stupid he thinks there's two lights. One's greater, one's lesser. Because the lesser doesn't make it all light. Makes it just a little bit light, but it's all dark. But you gotta understand that the moon is a reflector. It's not a light. He's so stupid he thinks so. He made the stars also. That happened in a half a verse. A half a verse, he made all the stars. Presto, changeo, magic, 1 second, bam, later, bam, all the stars. That's only like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 words out of the verse. It's not even a half a verse. He already made all the stars in under half a verse. I made the two great lights, a sun and a moon. And he's a dumb fuck thinking that the moon is a light, but then he made all the stars also, which is under half a verse. And God set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. The only thing that really gives light upon the earth is our one solo star, which provides us light and warmth, is our sun. The other ones are so far away. They're just little dots in the sky. But he claimed that he made everything. He made everything in only 5 words of less than half a verse. He did it. He did it in less than half a verse. All the stars were made. He did it in less than half a verse. It says all the stars were made also. Genesis 1:16. Genesis 1:17. And God sent them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. And to rule over the day and over the night. These stars rule over the day and rule over the night. I only see them at night. And to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was all good. I saw it was all good. Hey, it's done. Every single star was made within a couple verses. Everything was made with only a couple verses. And true. And this morning is the 4th day. On the 5th day, animal life of sea and air creatures were created. 1:20. And God said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creatures that have life, and fowl that may fly above the earth in the open and firmament of the heavens. And God created great whales and every living creature that moveth upon which the waters brought forth abundantly, and after a kind, and every winged fowl after its kind. And God saw everything was good. And God blessed them, said, Be fruitful and multiply, fill the waters and the seas, and let the fowls multiply in the earth. And it was the evening and the morning, and it was the fifth day. The sixth day. He's still talking about fucking animals. And God said, Let the earth bring forth living creatures. Didn't he waste about 4 verses earlier about talking about animals? He still never talked about a man. He loves animals and water and firmaments and stars and all kinds of shit. And he didn't even say anything about a fucking man. And he didn't say anything about a fucking woman yet. All he's got on his mind is darkness and light and waters and firmament and dumb shit like that. And he's going to say, God bless him, saying, Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters and the seas, and let the fowl multiply in the earth. The evening and the morning, it was the end of the fifth day. And the sixth day, and God said, Let the earth bring forth the living creatures after its kind, cattle and creeping things, and beasts of the earth after its kind. And it was so. And God made the beasts of the earth after its kind, and the cattle after their kind, and everything that creepeth upon the earth after its kind. And God saw that it's all good. You gone 5 days without even fucking thinking about a man. Now it's the sixth day. Now I think I'm going to create a man. 126. And God said, Let us make man in our own image, in our own likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the seas, and over the fowls of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the creeping things that creepeth upon the earth. So God created man in his own image. The image of God created he him, make male and female created them. He created male and female in a half a verse. He made them simultaneously, instantly, bam, boom, second, now. He did it. In a half a verse, he made it, man and woman. That means man and woman were created after all this other stuff. And God blessed them and said unto them, Be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the seas, and over fowl of the air, every living thing that moveth upon the earth. And God said, Behold, I give you every herb bearing seed which is upon the face of the earth, and every tree in which is the fruit of tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for meat. Some people refer that to cannabis, marijuana, that, and I'm giving this to you, or you're vegetarian, and I'm giving this to you. He's not talking about the many dozens of deadly plants, the dozens of most deadly plants on the earth that can kill you. But he gives you every green herb yielding seed. He gives you everything, even strychnine. Okay. And to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the earth, everything that creepeth on the earth, wherein there is a life, has given every green herb for meat. And it was so. God saw everything they had made, Behold, it was very good. It was the morning, and it's evening, and shit, and it's the sixth day. It was a 6-day creation, not a 7-day creation. My sister says, "Oh, you're talking about the 7-day creation." No, 6 days in one chapter. Then chapter 2 starts off with, "Oh, I'm going to take a big long nap." Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the hosts of them. And on the seventh day God ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made. And God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all the work which God created and made. Why was it so hard? There's split second creations, there's split second. He created everything in a matter of one verse or a half a verse. But then the whole chapter takes 6 days to do it all. But then there's verses that say he did everything in one verse or a half verse. Huh? Really? Brings us on to a different topic. Now we get to the Catholic edition that has wisdom and Sirach. Before I get into wisdom or Sirach, there's another thing. Let's see. Psalm 119. Psalm 119. 160. Thy word is true from beginning, and every one of thy righteous judgments endures forever. The word is true from beginning to end. It includes all the Apocrypha and Deuteronomical books that were removed from King James. There used to be 14 additional books. And like most of them are in this one. Matthew 5. (17 through 19). Think not that I come to destroy the law of the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. I'm not going to come to destroy the law of the prophets. That means wisdom and Sirach were most likely authored by Solomon. So, think not that I come to destroy the law or the prophets. A prophet wrote wisdom and Sirach. Had not come to destroy, but to fulfill. That means everything that was removed from the King James, all these additional books count. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, not one jot, not one little title. One jot, one little title. Every single letter counts. All those other additional books were in the book till the late 1600s, early 1700s. And then actually the mid 1600s, all those additional books were removed from the King James. There used to be 15 additional books onto the 66 Protestant King James kind of fucking shit. So he says everything counts, even this. So, Wisdom 9, verse 1. God of my ancestors, merciful Lord, by your word, everything was created. My word, everything was created. It means a split second, everything was created. Everything. Animal kingdom, vegetation, water, land, sun, moon, all kinds of other fucking shit. All the fucking stars. God of my ancestors, merciful Lord, by your word you created everything. By your wisdom you made us humans to rule all creation. He made everything, and he made us humans to rule over all creation. There's so many contradictions in that, but I'm going to go on with Sirach 42:15. Now I will remind you of the works of the Lord and describe the things that I have seen. The words of the Lord brought his work into being, and the whole creation obeys his commands. His word, only on one word, created everything and everything and everything. He created everything in one word. And all the commandments, all the commands, all the whole creation obeys his commands. He created everything in half a verse. Genesis 1:31. I'll go back to the big book for that. Genesis 1:31. I think I'm done with the Catholic book now. I only had a few verses to read out of that. Genesis 1:31. And God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. It was the evening and the morning. It was the sixth day. How come he made everything in half a verse? He made all the stars in 5 words. He can make everything in one verse, but it takes him a whole complete chapter to do 6 days, which is 31 verses. What happens in 1 and 2 of chapter 2? Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the hosts of them. And on the 7th day, God rested from all his works that he had done. Genesis 1 took him 6 days, but how come Wisdom 9:1 and 2 and Sirach 42:15 says it was a single fucking second, bam, boom, created now? Huh? How about Psalm 33:6? What? Oh, crap. Well, forget about that. Something on my phone distracted me. I better get off of that. Psalm 33:6. By the word of the Lord were the heavens made, and all the hosts of them by the breath of his mouth. Everything was made in one verse. How come it took 6 days and 31 verses in chapter 1 of Genesis? When in 33:6 it says, by my word, everything was made now. Split second now. It's made. 33:6. By the word of the Lord were the heavens made, and all the hosts of them. Heavens, all the hosts of them. He means all the 70 septillion stars. all made in a second within one verse. 33:6. By the word of the Lord, the heavens were made, and all the hosts of them. Heavens, all the stars, hosts of them. It's less than a verse. 33:6 of Psalms. He did everything instantaneously now. Instead of chapter 1, which took 6 days, and 1 and 2, he had to lay down on his ass for 24 hours a day. I was so tired about 6 days. But here, presto, change, magic, I could do everything in a half a verse. Proverbs 3:19. The Lord by wisdom hath founded the earth. Now it's by wisdom. It's not by his word. He just has to have wisdom. It's created now. He created everything in the half a verse because he used wisdom. 3:19 in Proverbs. The Lord by wisdom hath founded the earth. By understanding he hath established the heavens. Wisdom and understanding made the heavens. He doesn't have wisdom and understanding. He's a dumb fuck. Your God is a dumb fuck. He doesn't have wisdom and understanding. Because he just made a major contradiction because he said, it's by his word from another verse. And another verse said, everything just fucking happened like magic. And another verse says, everything just happened in a half a verse about magic. And chapter 1 in Genesis, it takes him 6 days, and 2 and 1 and 2. He has to rest the 7th day, and all of a sudden, everything's made in a half a verse. And 3:19 of Proverbs, and 3:19 of Proverbs says, the Lord by wisdom hath founded the earth, by understanding he established the heavens. By his knowledge the depths are broken up, and the clouds drop down the dew. Now he controls the weather by his knowledge. 3:20 of Proverbs. Isn't that some kind of dumb fuck shit? You're stupid if you believe this dumb fuck shit. You really are. So let's go on. Genesis 1:1. In the beginning, God, G-O-D, the fourth word. I'm such a pompous ass, egotistical maniac that I'm so self-absorbed, self-important that the fourth word of the book, I want to make mention that my name is G-O-D and I'm God. How the fuck are we supposed to know? Who was writing Genesis 1:1? When man wasn't even created till 1:26. There's somewhere in the Bible that says that only man wrote the Bible, but who wrote Genesis 1:1 through 25? When man wasn't created till 26. Okay. Psalm 104:24. O Lord, how manifold are your works, and wisdom hath made them all. 104:24 says wisdom made everything. Like he's fucking wise. Fuck that. He's not wise. Didn't I make a big major contradiction video about your Genesis 1 and 2? You're not very fucking wise. You're stupid. You're a dumb fuck. You fucking God. Okay. 104:24 says, O Lord, how manifold are thy works, and wisdom hath and made them all. It used to be just a word made it all. By the breath, by the word, everything is made split second now. And now it's wisdom and understanding. Hebrews 11:3. Finally, Mo goes to a New Testament. It's a New Testament thing. Let's go with Hebrews 11:1, 2, and 3. Maybe even further on. I don't know. Let's see where we're going to get at. I'll just read on from 11:1 to verse 3. Maybe onward. I don't know. Now, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1. Now, faith is the substance of things hoped for. I just hope it's true. Evidence hoped for. It doesn't sound like evidence. It's the substance of things. What kind of substance of things are not seen? Either hope for the evidence of things not seen, for by it the elders obtained a good report. Through faith, we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of God. Now it's just a word. 11:3 says, everything was framed by the word of God. 11:3. That's kind of different than those other fucking verses I read before, right? 11:3 says, by the word, it wasn't wisdom and understanding. It wasn't a split second, bam, you're created. You gotta have wisdom. Through faith, we understand that. Through faith. The worlds were framed by the word. It's just one word. Boom, created. Now, bam. 11:3 of Hebrews. John 1:3. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. Without him, there's nothing made that's ever been made. All things were made by him. John 1:3. All things were made by him. Nothing else was made unless it was by him. And you're stupid if you believe all this dumb fuck crap. And why don't you dump your religion?